Bro,
He come with the shit already.
See, y'all think I'm doing that?
Yo.
I hardly watch TV. I watch YouTube. Man, that's it.
man, that man.
Mastermind.
My man
Yes,
said,
sir.
Crew.
I look, I do.
I be watching business videos. That's it every day.
Man, you got no ones out, bro. Ain't nobody bumping Rich Homie, bro.
They ain't been do since he hit the corner,
That's
bro.
what I'm trying to tell you. They got to convert.
Hey,
You know something, bro? Buddy, what was Buddy name? What Buddy name, Quan?
I heart Memphis.
I heart Memphis.
He
Came
got
in,
locked up, and that didn't help him.
took that man dead, named it after him, and gave somebody else the royalty.
Shout out to him, boy.
Is that gangster or what?
Don't get much more
Bro,
gangster.
that is the most Robin Hood story I've heard in my life, bro. He took somebody damn, bro.
This how you make that money, Dan.
Named it after him and made a song about it.
Man, it happened every day though.
Man, and gave the royalty to somebody else, bro. I think
Gotta make sure you
Quay got
get
some of
that
the
mic
royalties.
It's a millionaire on IG. Her name Miss Skittles. And if you follow her story, like out in Atlanta, that's what she did. Like anytime hip hop artists would come out with cool stuff, like she would put some of the lyrics on a shirt. She would mass produce those shirts. That's how she made her millions. And then if you follow her story, like a major company corporation in New York picked her up, and then like they stole ideas and stuff. Hooked up with a company in China manufacturing before drop shipping was real big, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, they basically, like, she didn't understand contracts and stuff. They cut her out of her own company. So, but what they didn't figure out was that all the ideas came from her. So when they started firing people and getting rid of people in her company that she brought in, and then eventually her, they didn't have anything left. They
So
didn't
they
know how
had
to
to
market.
fold.
So they had to fold.
Oh,
So she ended
man.
up buying back her own company. Like, it's crazy. She had to buy it back. But like, she took those lessons that she learned and she built those connections with China. She went over there to China on a prayer with her boyfriend, went to the factory. The person that she would always talk to on the phone recognized her voice and said, "Oh, this you." And so she started doing work with China. So she was drop shipping and getting product for nothing before anybody else made millions from her experience. So she made millions the first time on the front end, then made it on the back end.
Wow.
But the majority of that was listening to rap artists when a popular song came out, taking keynote lyrics, throwing it on the shirt, and then putting it into stores in our communities. So,
Wow.
like, it's
Legacy
always been
lessons.
That's what
Listen,
it do.
bro. Hey,
Legacy lessons, boy.
hey, one thing about it, bro, like the creative mind's gonna eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're a creative, it ain't no company that can marginalize.
They can't
that.
duplicate what you bring. It's their magic.
It's
Shout
because
out to
somebody,
the Jews, goddamn.
facts. Like
They'll
you,
find somebody.
like you, like on some real talk, like you
You
know.
talking about for Jackson, right? You talking?
Yeah, that's what he talking about.
Yeah.
One of my OGs told me that the founders of America only invented one thing in America:
And what was that?
the patent system.
Oh, wow.
So that's the only thing that the founders of America ever built. Everything else built by somebody else.
They took it. Everything else they stole a little bit
Yes,
of this, a
sir.
little bit of
They
that.
said the only thing they invented was the patent system.
That sound about right.
Wow.
That's it. Everything else was pretty much out of their hands. It was somebody else that made it. So
All right, this is Mastermind Podcast,
sir.
episode 161. I'm Reggie, a.k.a. Ricky Fontaine. Pretty Ricky, what they call him. I do it. I do it. You ain't got to do it, bro. You ain't got to go sign me.
That boy, the whole group.
You ain't got to go sign me.
hey boy, that boy tired of being around trade fan, ain't he?
For real, yeah.
That boy wanna be trying to
That boy
give
going on
bad, boy.
strike. Yeah.
It didn't be calling
Say
your girl. It didn't be calling your girl talking about you need a man with sensitivity.
That's how you gonna do me?
No, bro. It's a joke, man. Come on. Man, who are you?
Man, it's the Kid Goo, man, a.k.a. the Podcast Messiah, a.k.a. Baby Pluto, man. And then to my right, man,
Yeah, you got Space Ghost,
AKA.
Coast to Coast,
a.k.a.
WEB the boy,
a.k.a.
food guy.
a.k.a.
No more.
All right,
I got another time. I got a special time for all the good ones.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Then, over here, you got Reverend Slim jumping out the gym with, him, Mr. Jason Anderson.
Yes, sir.
Speak on yourself, boy.
I talked to
Lean
him.
to the mic. Lean to the mic.
Wait a minute now. I wasn't prepared with all these catch lines.
You know the AKAs. You got plenty of them, though.
No, I ain't gonna do all the AKAs. But, it's Jason Anderson here on behalf of Check Conversations, where we believe that your conversation should be just as good as currency. And so I'm just here to vibe with my brothers here tonight.
Man,
Yes, sir, man.
I listen. So the first thing I want to jump into is like, what is one of the biggest downfalls for the black community when it comes to the dollar? Like, what is one of our biggest problems that we need to try to eliminate when it comes to spending our money?
I think everything starts with.
Get in the mic a little bit.
Go ahead. Okay, cool. I think everything, number one, starts with what you're doing right now. It starts with a conversation.
Right.
It was a statistic that I read just last year that said 40% of parents never even talk to their kids about money.
Wow.
So I didn't even see a breakout of what percentage was African American, but on several sessions that I had with parents across America, I'm pretty sure it's a high population, like over 90% of the families that have been talking to me.
She family. But yeah, you said 40% of African American don't talk to their kids about money at all.
It's
Period.
more than 40%. It's 40% of all Americans.
Of all Americans.
Black community.
It's
Okay.
not just in the black community.
Right.
All Americans don't sit down and have conversations with kids about their money. So I mean, you think about it. Us growing up, let's take a poll. Like, how many of our parents really sat us down once a year and had a serious conversation with us about money?
Hardly ever.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Some people did. Some people might have, but I'm like, I always ask that question to see what people say.
Yeah, it was more like auntie. My aunties were like the ones that, but my parents, like, they were too busy working. So, like, we never had that sit down talking about money. A lot of people, they scared to invest their money. A lot of people feel like it's a scam. It's just you just giving your money to the rich to get richer type situation. What would you say to those folks?
I would say you're right to be scared until you get educated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't understand the system and you put your money into it, you can lose, right?
Right.
So if you're investing, like before, people like me and a lot of people I know I've run across the United States started saying, hey, you know what, we'll give you a lot of information on how to get started for free. It was tough. I talk to people every day that like trade with me now. Some people you posted, I think Farad will tell you, they would try to get into it back in the day, but they didn't have the information.
Right.
So if you didn't, and you actually put your money into a company that wasn't profitable, then, or if they were playing a game called trading versus investing, like they still do with AMC, then you can put your money in at the wrong time and lose 75% of what you have because you don't understand the game and nobody taught you. So they were right to be afraid. I would say now you have resources without even talking to people like Investopedia, where you can go read. It'll teach you everything. Like one of the best.
Investopedia. I'll get your notebooks out.
You
Take notes.
You don't ever have to listen to Jason Anderson.
This segment is called Take Notes.
Never have to listen to me if you go read Investopedia. It's gonna take you a year to read it.
Yeah, thanks.
But if you read it and apply what they say,
Where you find Investopedia though?
You can Google Investopedia. It's free.
Right.
You can go. It'll give you everything about trading. Everything about trading and investing. It'll teach you about dollar cost averaging, which is the first thing you should really get into. Fundamental analysis, and like they make it sound really high. I mean, really hard and stuff, but it's not. Like they make this seem like the bar real high, but it's not. I'm like, dollar cost averaging, all it means is you find a good company that you like that's profitable. Meaning that if you look at the chart, it's going up over periods of time, like 5 years, and their earnings report. Companies like Robinhood make it easy. When you look at their earnings report at the bottom, a lot of people don't look at the graphs. It tell you quarter by quarter. Are they consistently meeting or beating their earnings report? And if they are, that's great. But companies like AMC aren't. So that means people are trading. But people that invest, they think, oh, it's a great company. But I'm like, how is that a good company when they consistently not making a profit for their people?
Right.
And they setting their own forecast. So that's a trader's game. But Investopedia will tell you, say dollar cost averaging, which is only putting a set amount of money, even if it's just $10 into a company every month that's profitable. If that company is like Apple, if you look at Apple right now, over the last 5 years, it's up over 100% a year. This year, it looks like it's only up about 20% over the this full year, maybe about 12 to 15%.
Right.
It's still rising, but by the end of the year, it's gonna be about 40% gain.
Yeah, like they had a lot of activity today, I saw.
Yeah,
They
and that's
are-
a bad year for them.
Yeah.
You think about that. If you put your money into a savings account, how much money you gonna get out of it a year? What percent? 1%? 2%?
Yeah, like
Point
even-
0%.
Yeah, it's not even a whole.
Real low.
It's a point.
Yeah, it's like
What-
it
what-
ain't a whole percent.
what's the rate of inflation a year?
I don't know. You
It's
talking
tough.
about our
Yeah.
head now?
It's about 2%, right?
Right.
That's why your companies, if you on salary, they'll give you about a 2% raise almost every year, and it's to match what's going on with
With
inflation.
inflation.
But if you got your money in a savings account, and the amount of money that you have in there is growing at a lower rate than inflation, you losing money.
Losing
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, so that's why like people love Bitcoin and Ethereum in the crypto sector. That's why they love stocks like Target. Man, Target going crazy this year.
Yeah.
So what would you prefer? Like somebody put their money into, like instead of just a savings account. If they not really sure about the stock market, they want somebody to do it for them or like whatever. What you suggest they invest in and put money into?
So number one, I'm not a financial advisor, so let me
Yeah,
put that out there.
put it out there first. Disclaimer.
Yeah. Allegedly.
But no, man, they got these FINRA laws out there. If people don't know, I'm like, look, the FINRA law is the truth.
Yeah.
So that's why all these people like Wall Street trapping out there, they'll tell you, look, I'm not an advisor, but if you look at just the charts, even if you don't look at them, you should. Apple is like the number one company I would say I always look at because they always win long term. So I told people, a lot of my subscribers, I told them this year the market was made to get you out of it. Because like over 5 million black people got into the market last year, right? So they trying to shake them out. So they gonna lull you to sleep, or they gonna let the market hit some lows.
Yeah.
And you seen the market hit some lows, and then you seen it hit some highs, and sometimes it just stays stagnant. Like Apple stayed stagnant the whole quarter. Then the last month, in 1 month, it went up 12%.
Yeah, because the last time you came over, we had the conversation about black people like really investing. We was on a high note basically. We were like,
Yeah.
like black people getting involved in the market.
Yeah, because it was high.
Yeah.
They like Dogecoin going up everything.
Yeah. So they noticed that too, I guess, and they want to pull the rug from under you.
Yeah, they do, but it's not just that. Like the market always, it has a cycle. It always goes up and down. But what's the name? Warren Buffett will tell you. He said it's for the patient. He said the stock market is a tool to get money for the patient and to take money from the inpatient. So if you leave it in there over a long period of time, it's gonna go up. Like case in point, I'll show you at the end of this. I got some Snapchat. I got it about 5 years ago, and I got it at $14. It dropped down to $9. I was like, man. I said, I don't know if it's gonna grow, but I kept it, and now it's what, over $60 a share.
Snapchat.
Snapchat, I think it's over 60. Let me look.
People still use Snapchat like that?
I didn't think they would either. But I said, you know what? Let me run a test. I said, I'm not gonna settle. Let's see what Snapchat
It's
is.
$60 a share right now.
I think it is. Snapchat
Wow.
don't grow a lot, especially during the pandemic. Nobody had nothing to do.
Yeah.
And like that, as a non-investor, I wouldn't think to invest in like apps and stuff like that. Like I'll be thinking about physical product.
It'll be certain.
Let me stop. I was wrong. Snapchat over $70-something a share now.
$73.
$73
Wow.
a share, and I got it at $14 a share.
Yeah.
I'm talking about double or
what you
triple up.
What were you saying?
Yeah, I was like, me not being a investor like that, like I wouldn't think to invest in Snapchat and Facebook, Instagram, or anything like that. I'll be thinking about physical product, like stuff that gets stolen in the store. But
like
yeah.
the Nike joints. You know what I'm saying?
feel
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
Handboro and stuff like that. Like
That's the beautiful part about the market. Is so many sectors that you right. It's companies that win in every sector. So you can look at a company like Nike and say, well, is it profitable? And you can buy it.
yeah,
But the best investors that my advisor told me in college, he was like, kids are the best investors.
right.
He said because they know everything new that's coming out.
Right.
So like he told him about Under Armour. His son told him about Under Armour, and he didn't get in, and Under Armour took off, right?
Right.
And so when I got in on Snapchat, I said, well, let me get in because it's new. I use it. A lot of young people use it. Okay. And you'll find that out. So if you got kids, man, that's the best thing to get. One of the best things to get them in is to learn about it because they're going to tell you.
Yeah.
They'll be like, hey, this new thing came out, like TikTok.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, we
Man,
used
my
to see
little
the
girl
ads.
show come out of nowhere with TikTok. I don't know where
We
they
used to
come
see
from.
the
Canada
ads,
was
we
on
thought
it
it-
early.
Early.
We thought it was like some trolling stuff. We
Yeah,
see
like I
commercials
thought
all the time.
that. Man, they done took out like a mug.
Yeah.
Now check conversations. Like,
That's what I want to get into.
what made you want to bring that platform
What
to
is Check
fruition?
Conversations?
So again, Chat Conversations is a platform. Originally, it started because during the pandemic, I was helping people that, like you said, didn't know about the stock market. They would ask me. They were like, "Okay, everything dropped off, right?"
Mhm.
So a lot of people like me, yeah, we were dollar cost averaging, but we really weren't doing a lot. We were waiting for the next big pandemic. Like, okay, we were waiting for the next recession, so you can buy bulk.
Mm-hmm.
Dollar cost averaging is actually better, but that's what happened. So a lot of people say, okay, great, everything dropped real low. We want to buy. How do we do this? So I was doing one-on-one sessions, and then a lot of people found out about what's it called? Trading. I can't think of what it's called right now. But basically, they wanted fast money, right? So they want to learn how to trade as well.
Like day trading and stuff.
Yeah, it's not day trade, options trading, right?
Options trade.
Yeah. So like,
What's the difference between the two?
so options trading, you can make 2-3 times the amount of money you can trading, and you can make it faster. You can make it in a week. You can make it in a day. Or you can make it long term over 3 months. Meaning that if I buy options in Apple, I don't own those shares. I
Okay.
own the options to buy that contract, right? And each contract for an option is the option to buy 100 shares.
Mhm.
But I might only get that at $20 or $100 a. So a contract is one option.
Mm-hmm.
So I might get, if I got $300, I might get 3 contracts. All right, 3 options contracts for $300. Well, if I predict, I can make money if it goes up or down. That's why people love options trading. I can make money if it loses money, if Apple loses money or make. All I got
you
to
don't own the stock.
do is be able to predict which way it's going.
Mm.
That's why people love options trading. And so if I know it's going up, like I do know, I can put an options contract out there for like, I know it's gonna hit 160 something by the end of the year for 150 something. And then instead of having $300 and it going up, the difference between what it is now, like 150 and 160, might only be like, I don't know what, 10%, 15%. I don't know. I can't do the math
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
But I'll make 3 times that amount that it like a regular stock. If it's 15%, I make 45% on options. Take my money out, keep going. Or if I see it making money already, and I don't want to wait, I can pull it out anytime, take that profit out. And so
Man.
options trading is for like, it's a real skill. It's a skill. If you don't learn it, it's gambling.
All this
But-
sound like gambling to me.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Fact.
But it's not, man. I'm like, so
It's a strategy to the madness.
it
It's,
is.
it's a math problem, basically.
It is. No, yeah, option trading is bad. It really is. But day trading, like long-term investing, is not. You
Yeah.
find a good company like Apple, you look at the charts.
Ride it out.
If it's going up, man, like you can put stop losses in. That's something else. But we ain't got to worry about that. Even if you don't put a stop loss in, you say, okay, I'm gonna put in $100 a month over the next 13 years, 13 to 15 years. You'll be a millionaire.
Mm.
Wow.
And I'm gonna show it to you. I'm gonna show it to you right here, but you can keep asking
Right.
questions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you on a compound interest calculator. Like all families should sit down one day and say, I want to work with a compound interest calculator. Because that's all your 401k is built off of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, no pun intended. Like an older guy that I worked for, he was a white guy, he sat down and said, you need to learn about a compound interest calculator. Let me show you how it worked. All right. And I didn't know. It's not something that when you all taught about it in school.
No.
All right. So,
Accounting in college, we had like the amortization and
yeah.
we had them kind of calculators, but
Mhm.
it's almost the same thing, right?
No.
Nah.
Nah, see,
It don't seem like because I was gonna go to the I had one of them Texas Instruments. You feel me?
It ain't the same.
It ain't the same.
It ain't the
That
same.
ain't-
When I
that's
got
how-
with an energy saver,
Bro,
Put your
listen,
finger on the bar and play that.
yeah, go out.
listen, bro. When I seen they had the Texas joint, like I was like, yeah, they don't win next level.
Yeah.
Man.
Nah, these joints, it calculate over time though. They're like that's how the amortization calculator works.
So we looking at this, and we saying $100 a month, right? You initially put in 100, you put in $100 a month. Investment time, let's put 15 years, right?
We
All
need a
right.
TV so we can do all this.
The
on
return of
Yeah.
investment. I'm
It's
gonna
coming.
show you what Apple say, right? All right, let's look at Apple. AAPL is the ticker. So we're gonna look at 5 years. It's up 485%. So we're gonna say 485% divided by 5. 485 divided by 5 equals a rate of 97% a year. That means you almost doubling your money.
Wow.
That's almost 100%.
Almost 100% of
man.
what you put in every year for the last 5 years, right? So we're gonna take that same rate, right? And we can't. NerdWallet, this calculator don't even think that's possible. So the highest it let us put is 50%. We're gonna put in 50% annually. So over 15 years, that $100 a month in a company like Apple is $1.1 million.
Wow.
At 50%.
And that's at 50%.
That's at
That's
50.
at 50%.
Right now, it's hitting at 97.
Like Moneybag Yo said,
Oh, like
That sounds like a win.
Yeah.
Big win.
And like I said, but again though, you got to research. You need to learn. You need to read some books. You need to get in it.
so. This the kind of stuff you talk about with check conversations.
That's
like,
what I
on the
talk
one-on-one?
about in check conversation doing one-on-ones. Like we go through fundamental analysis so you can read and make decisions on your own, right?
Right.
And you can really do that after 2 weeks. So I'm like, yeah, once you subscribe, then I really go through that one-on-one stuff easily
Yeah.
Okay.
every month. If you don't subscribe, I still got videos on there. You can look at them and still figure it out.
Yeah.
But the important thing right now is like I'm doing a little session on legacy lessons.
Yeah. we'll get
And
into
it's, yeah. Oh, we're gonna get into
Yeah.
Stop.
that. So I was scrolling this week and I saw that you had new program you was working on with legacy lessons, and basically it teaches you how to help your kids invest, right? Like, could you expound on that?
Yeah, it's different than just helping your kids invest, right? So the first thing I do is I ask questions like to parents and kids, depending on who's on the Zoom calls. Like some of the questions might be, what did your parents tell you about money? So I'll just start with y'all. Like, what are some of the things y'all parents told y'all about money? Like, you don't grow trees.
Don't
like,
ask
don't
for
worry
it.
about credit. What's some of the
Get
things
a
they told
savings
y'all?
account.
Get a savings account. Okay, cool. That's good. What else they tell you?
That about it.
Save.
Yeah.
For a rainy day.
Save for a
When
rainy
you
day.
when you turn 18, get you a job.
Get you a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't
Go to
worry.
college, get a
I
job.
had
You
a
know all the
job
basics.
when I was 8.
What did you work for?
Fly on the
You
field.
finna get somebody sent to prison. He had to get somebody.
Child labor laws, dog.
No, he right. I'm like, my parents told me the same thing. Like, I think me and Scrap played
Yeah,
basketball.
facts.
I'm like,
No
yeah.
doubt.
Yeah,
So
you
I'm
know,
like, I never had Jordans until I got grown. I ain't never had no Jordan. My parents they were like, look, that's too expensive. You better get these Scottie Pippens.
yeah. And they were
And what I'm finna tell you, they cost more than the J's.
Hey, I love my Scottie Pippens.
Listen,
but,
man.
But like you said, like he said over here, he said like my parents said once required work. And so, like you all said, everybody said the same thing because our parents told us the best things that they knew.
Right.
So they would say, "Hey, save your money, all right, because you're gonna need a fallback, some fallback funds in case something happens,
Right.
right?"
Work hard.
Yeah, I mean, my dad knew about the stock market, but he didn't really get into it deep, and like to a lot of people, it was risky because nobody taught them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, a lot of our parents really didn't know about credit and how to gain credit, so they would tell us, just save your money, don't get no credit card.
Right.
You heard that
Yeah.
too? But like the older
Don't
we
get
get,
credit card. That was the
Yeah.
main.
I know that. I know that for sure.
the older we get though, we learn that credit is good as cash.
Right.
And a lot of things, if you got good credit, you don't even have to have cash. And then the big thing now is leveraging your credit to get assets that bring you in more money then it costs to utilize your credit. So you're
Mm.
using credit as cash.
Mm.
So case in point, like with Airbnbs, and I'll do a session on it like probably next month. Um, and I'll show the profits to you before we leave. But gross profits this month off of 2 apartments in a city. I ain't gonna say where. Over 6 grand right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the net is about
You said just as much?
just this month. The net is right at, it's probably gonna end up being right at about 4,800 this month. The
Mhm.
net, meaning I'm taking it home
Yeah.
off 2 places. So you making a salary off of that, but I leverage credit to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't have to have a lot of cash. I don't own the places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, people, those are the lessons that our parents didn't know. And that we acquire over time talking to people, having these check conversations.
Right.
And so as we have these conversations, like that's when we should share those with our families. But a lot of times people just sit on that knowledge and they don't share, even though like people like your aunt may have that information.
Right.
Like my uncle had investment properties, right?
Right.
But we didn't have a session about it. But when I got older, when I wanted to get into it, my dad was like, "Well, go talk to your uncle." But think about it. If we had those conversations as kids,
Yeah, you'll learn a lot more.
man, we
now.
would have took our money. We could have been saving and investing
Yeah.
and trading while we kids. Because are we at that point with legacy lessons where I can talk about
Yeah,
stuff?
you go
All right.
into it.
So we definitely want to talk about things that our parents went over with us.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely want to sit down with kids, nephews, nieces, cousins, whoever, have those conversations about money. But talk about wants versus needs, because I mean, wants versus needs is different for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah,
kids.
because we all need shoes.
You're right. What
But-
kind of shoe do you
but
need?
you don't
Scrap?
need
We
those
don't need the
expensive.
Balenciagas.
Yeah.
But
We
you
don't need the Balenciagas.
What about the Jordan though? You need the
what
Jordan.
size
Hold
you
on,
need?
hold on. The tough question.
We don't need. They're a little bit cheaper than the Balenciagas, though.
See.
They cheaper than the Balenciagas.
So what do you call? What's some things you call needs? Because honestly, I love asking that question. I'm gonna stop talking. Let y'all
Hennessy?
answer. It might be.
Hennessy.
It might be
Hennessy.
for you.
'Cause I got some kids. They bad as hell. And bro,
That's a necessity
when I
for
tell
you.
you,
That's a
it
necessity.
stopped me from, it put me on my play. Because sometimes I had to put them in their play. You hear me? So, yeah. But I know that's a want.
Shelter, food, shelter, water.
That's neat.
Yeah,
Them
yeah.
needs.
Yeah.
But hold on though, you don't need the 6-bedroom, 5-bathroom lakeside
I need
mansion,
space,
and
though.
it's just you.
Need
That's
space.
tough. That's a tough
So you
conversation.
do,
Okay.
you got 10
So let's
left.
talk about it.
So he right. This the conversation every family need to have, wants versus needs.
Right.
Because I was listening to a lady today. She said her and her fiance, she couldn't rock with them because like one of the things she couldn't rock with them was because even though they were coming together, she felt like they were leveling up, so they should get a bigger place. Well, his thing was we can have more money if we get a place that's still the same size. We just come together, bringing our assets together, we can save and invest more.
Yeah.
Right.
And so for her, a need was always bigger, but for him, the need was
The
hey,
basic.
the
Yeah.
basics. Let's grow our funds. So it's different for everybody. That's why it's good to have the conversation. But what about him
yeah,
over there?
listen.
What's a need for
What's
you?
a need?
Jordan 1.
Oh,
Jordan ones.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Kids can't eat no
Yeah.
Jordan ones, B.
Yeah. I not
If you fry 'em right
not
there,
to
with
sway too far off the conversation, but I think when black couples get to that point where it's time to actually move and pick a spot and be there, I think it get a little tough, and a lot of them they can't get through that.
A lot of couples, like even from personal experience, people never have conversations about money until they get into
to the point where we need money,
Uh-huh.
well we gotta have money.
or somebody don't
you're
spend
right.
too much money.
You're
Then
right.
they like, why you do that? Well, I
Shout
been
out-
doing that.
Shout out to Natasha Ross on everything. She talk about
Because when
it.
you in a relationship, there's a difficult conversation to have.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I said, Geraldine,
Hey,
write it down every little bit.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in an intimidating situation like, well, your girl done elevated before you know what I'm saying, and you trying to get yours to her level, you feel me? So it can be intimidating to talk about money, you feel me? But if you the type of person that know how to get money, you ain't never time or place. We can't talk about money.
Didn't they say like money the number one cause of divorces and all that?
Yeah, look at Dr. Dre wife.
Man.
Woo!
Dr. Dre wanted that though. People don't
Yeah,
know.
he actually
How?
won.
Let me break it down.
300,000.
Let me
He
break it down.
actually won, yeah.
300,000 a month. All right, 300,000 a month end up being what?
She gonna live
$3
over
million.
a year.
99.
That's what I thought. Like 3.6 million, right?
Yeah.
So you think about his net worth. Like this, why compound interest so important. Like these guys in the market. Like
Yeah.
Warren Buffett had a conversation with LeBron James. LeBron was like, "What should I put my money into?" Right? He was like, "Just buy it in the index." He said, "You too rich to even take any risk. Just put your money in the index. You get 10% back a year." So 3.5 million and Dre worth over 800 million.
Right.
That's less. It's about 5%. It's like less than 5%, I believe.
So it
it
ain't
is.
hurting too bad.
And she
So
was-
if he
she was
invested in
actually-
index, he's still getting.
He'd get that for free.
He's still making a lot of money. Like
it's
that's
excessive as fuck.
to us,
That's
to
too.
us is excessive.
Yes, it
Excessive.
is, bro.
But them
Ain't
niggas
nobody
make
supposed to
She
live
was
on
asking for $2 million
But
though.
look
Hey,
at
but
that.
you know something? It all gonna change. It all gonna change, bro. When one of these broke dudes from East Side, bro, get one of them hot type. You know what I'm talking about?
Wendy
One of
Williams
them-
situation.
It ain't good enough. I'm talking
Mary
about.
J situation.
I'm talking about
Mary,
one of
look
them
at that.
joints.
They
I'm talking about like
they was upset at
I'm
both
talking
of them.
about. I'm talking about when Tunkin finally gone ahead and chill dog Oprah, bro.
Tunkin?
And they had that baby. How old do you hear me?
Oh, that baby.
They had that baby. Yeah. Man,
Hey, bro.
Those views are shared by him and him only.
Y'all need to stop. Look,
All right, but listen though, that's what I'm
that
telling
ain't
you.
right, man. I'm gonna leave that
Listen,
alone.
I'm gonna just tell you though, like when the roles change
Huh?
and the dudes start doing it, it gonna change. But to
Well.
then, to long we keep taking the lick, it gonna be the way it is.
Well, most women too smart. Look at Oprah. Oprah like, all right, Stebby.
Yeah, she
She like, you a forever bachelor with me. I
He
would
don't-
pay you, but you ain't getting this.
He's supposed to been
He
sprayed
don't even live in the
up.
house with her. What you mean?
He live back down in the backyard.
He live in the
You think
guest
you
house.
bringing women through the house? Through the back? Through the back?
Yeah,
care.
Stay with still
She
smack.
go with Gail.
Oh look, see, I ain't in this.
But Dr. Dre's wife was initially asking for $2 million a month though,
Bro,
and,
listen.
and her list was outrageous. She wanted like $1 million for laundry.
You
Like,
think about the normal
What?
person though. I'm like, if you ain't got no real serious prenup, a normal person getting what? How pay more? 50%?
Yeah, I
30%?
said,
well, she beat the prenup though. She
Bruh.
wasn't supposed to be getting none of this in the first place.
yes.
I don't trust that prenup because like I think
it's-
it's fabricated.
Yeah, all
You
she
think
gotta
about
do
it,
is
they
just smash the judge.
She just tore the napkin up. They wrote it on.
You think about it, like they were like, we think there's a prenup out here. We gotta go find it. I'm like, you know
Why-
if you got a prenup.
Ain't no doubt about it.
Yeah,
Like,
like
just in
sound
the
like y'all
closet.
created so.
It's at the top of the closet, bro. I keep it up there with a little dust on it.
But no, one of my friends told me, she was like, the same thing that Dr. Dre wife did, Anna Nicole wife did. Like prenups really ain't that good in California. They really don't hold up that well.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
it's
states
like-
prenup don't mean that.
It really don't hold up that well in California. I don't know about
Yeah.
other states, but it really don't hold up that well in California.
I don't even think they honor them joints in Mississippi.
I don't know no
I
Mississippi.
don't, even,
that
I
got
don't
prenup.
think Mississippi
Who got one in
legislature know anything about a
Name
prenup.
somebody in Mississippi that you know he had a prenup.
Right.
They want you to
country
suffer.
bumpkin.
That boy
Every
who
time
say
she
he
got
ain't
one.
married, ain't married.
Hey, these country bunkers be in love for real down here. They don't be
Fact.
nothing about no money.
Fact.
Most
So-
of my old lady got
My old lady.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Been with
when,
her
as a
10 years anyway.
man, that's what I'm
40
saying.
got that.
I'm glad we talking about this.
And they'll put a
Because as a
ring on it.
man, bro, it's so many things going along the obstacle course, you feel me, that can extract money out your pocket. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so as a black dude who probably done had a few out of wedlock, and you owe a couple garnishments, you got the PPP, and you feel me, you got so much coming. How can they invest? You see what I'm saying? Like, how can those type of guys invest in,
They don't know
in
nothing
the,
about
in the
money.
game?
Yeah,
So if you don't have any,
you got new money.
even if you have new money, you can put a little bit in a month, right?
Mhm.
You might put $10 in a month.
Okay,
right?
I was gonna say
Man.
fine.
You might put
Because a lot of
$5,
people,
$10 in a
listen,
month.
because like a lot of people think like you got to drop like $1,000, $2,000,
Nah, man. You
$3,000
gonna make me go
to
back to
start
the
investing.
calculator.
Yeah, to start investing. You see what I'm saying?
You gonna
And
make
that
me-
ain't necessarily the
talk about
case.
it.
You
Shout
gonna
out to
make me-
Farad, you know what I'm saying? Me and him, we don't agree on much, but he was telling me some things. He was telling me some things that was on point though. You
He
know
one of
what
the
I'm
few
saying?
people you don't agree with nothing about, but agree with everything at the
Yeah,
same time.
at the same time, it kind of crazy, ain't it?
We got the same goal with.
You think about it, $10
Shout
a
out to
month.
bro.
$10 a month, 15 years. Company like Apple, like it don't even go as high as Apple rate, $150,000.
Right.
So I'm like, even putting a little bit in, Man,
And then you can do it. You
winning.
can do it on Cash App. Like
Shout out to you.
You can do it on Cash App. They making it easy to do everything.
What
now.
app would you prefer?
Whatever's the easiest for you? I like
Robinhood,
Cash App is the easiest
I
for
think
like
that's who Prince roll with.
Mint.
for Bitcoin and stuff. But with crypto, you want like a digital key.
Yeah,
so
digital
you don't
key, yeah.
want to.
Which
play
I
with
just
it.
learned that term.
But
I do not mess with the unregulated.
Yeah,
I don't
listen,
trust
that's
it.
my thing. Like,
You
okay,
ain't
let me
even
ask you
the
something about
key,
Bitcoin. So, like, if it just shut down, like, will you get your money back? Like,
no. So I mean, I be real with people. I said no. So Bitcoin is used by so many people that I don't ever think it's just gonna shut down.
yeah,
And I do think if you look at the way that cash is being used, it's decreasing. The amount of cash in circulation is decreasing every year, right? And when they said, "Oh, it's a cash shortage at Walmart and stuff," last year, it wasn't no cash
it
shortage.
was a coin shortage.
It wasn't no coin shortage.
It wasn't none of that.
No, they were trying to get you used to using digital currency, right?
Oh.
That's why you see all these credit cards are now starting to use Bitcoin. Amazon is going to take Bitcoin next. They already announced it. So they getting you ready for these digital currencies, right? So these currencies are going to like accumulate over time. So I would definitely invest in Bitcoin. I would definitely look at investing
Right.
in Bitcoin every month. But to your point, I also say the risk is if somebody says, you know what, I'm tired of using Bitcoin, I want to go to the next currency, it could drop off, right?
It did like last week.
It did, but it's still on the way up, right?
Cause it's more than just Bitcoin, right?
Yeah,
Like
Doge.
it's,
And
it's
then you got
other.
other coins. It's a whole lot of digital currency.
Dogecoin.
Yeah.
It's like hundreds of them joints now.
Okay, then
It ain't just Bitcoin. Bitcoin is popular.
that's the one that's everybody.
Bitcoin is the best because whoever created it, and that's the craziest thing. We don't know if it was the government that created it. We don't know who
That's
created
why
it,
I don't
right?
trust it.
They call him the guy who created it named Satoshi.
Satoshi.
Asha
Yep.
Money or something Satoshi, and they got.
He ain't a real
each-
person.
Yeah, we don't know who he is. He probably is the government, right?
He one of them Rothschild.
Basically, what they said is he created the journey and then walked away. Basically,
Like he ain't want no
No
problem with
payout.
it.
he started the whole program, the coin and all that, and then disappeared. Whoever it is.
He got murdered.
No parts in it.
We don't know what.
Damn,
we don't
don't
know.
put
I
that
think
out there.
What is he, a monk or something?
We don't know. It could be a woman. You was saying he.
What's next to
It could be a.
Bitcoin?
Shim.
Bitcoin, you
Alien.
got like. To me, number 2 is probably Ethereum. You got the altcoins. Everything else is just tokens, but like Bitcoin is like way better than Dogecoin and stuff because there's only a limited supply, right?
Right.
So anything, it's like artwork. Anything where there's a limited supply, like the value of it goes
Them
up.
Jordans.
Right, like
NFT.
Jordan.
Yeah.
If there's a limited supply, anything, Jordans,
Yeah.
whatever, if it's valuable and people think it's valuable, the value of it goes up over time. So if you think about all these different companies using Bitcoin now, and there's only a certain limited amount of supply, once it's done, it's done. So it's only gonna increase in value over time. Like in the early 2000s, it was like $10, $15 a share. Like one of the custodians at our job told me about it. She was like, "Yeah, I had it when it was $20, etc. I made a few hundred, and then I ended up selling it." And I'm like, "It's still cool because you make a profit. You never know in the market." But a lot of people, you have the insight. If you study, like your kids have an insight, you have an insight. Get into the market and just study, and you'll find stuff.
Right.
So, but that's why Bitcoin is so good because Dogecoin there is no cap right now.
Yeah.
So
It's whatever.
it's whatever. So many
No
people,
kizzy.
so many people are into it. Way more people into it. But here's the thing: if they ever cap it, this is why I still hold the majority of mine. Right? I always take profit now. I believe in taking profit.
Yeah. How big are you on investing in property that appreciate, like watches, land, stuff like that?
I like land. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know nothing about investing in watches that
Oh
appreciate.
man,
Out of
listen,
Mars
boy,
and
it's some,
Rich
it's
and
some,
me.
Man,
And
It's
look,
some
antics and
it's some real money in it.
I know.
Out of
I know. I don't know about appreciate, but I know some boys that are reach and take. So I don't. Really,
they appreciate the
so,
whole lot.
yeah, so they appreciate that a whole lot. So I try
Still
to
live too close to the hood.
Yeah. I don't play with that. Like I like what you said about land, man.
Right.
You think about this. I told people, and I think I like to tell people like mistakes. Like I tell people a story. I lost $500,000. I never had it, but I
Yeah.
lost it because I could have been investing my money into the stock market, into my own company, Linux, when it was about $14 a share, and I didn't, right? For years, I went out, had fun. I saw it, but didn't really know about it. So I say the same thing with land. Like in Memphis, I saw it. I ended up buying here in Grenada because I got like one of the best deals that like people tell me that you ever got. Like I appraised for 300 at the time, got it for way, way, way less, like a record low deal. But if I would have took that same amount of money, I could have bought 2 apartments downtown Memphis. One bedrooms were going for 40 at the time, 2 bedrooms were going for 60. 1 bedrooms in the heart of downtown right now, they jump on the market at 150. And that's what they jump on. Everything goes up. Like it's not a market where you come in at a lower offer, you come in higher. So they go start at 150, and they usually sell the cheapest ones sell for about 180 unless you're on the north end.
Right.
2 bedrooms start at 250. So think if I would have took that same amount of money,
And just got some
they
downtown
just got 2
property.
apartments downtown.
They really come up.
Man,
Put a little bit of bread in it.
man,
And downtown Memphis is booming. Like
Yeah,
in
man,
this very moment.
it would have been
it explode.
it would have been a 300K win.
I know. I was watching the Master P documentary, and he inherited some land, some commercial land down there in Louisiana that he was sitting on, and basically like when they got the booming down there and building, they had to build on his property, and he basically
He wouldn't sell. So
he wouldn't sell.
until it went
So
all the way up.
they had to pretty much pay him. You know what I'm talking about?
Break
And
the
I think
bank.
they still paying him to this day. I think he still own that land that they built them buildings on. So
Man, I want to plug people from Grenada like Tevin Coleman that invest and flip
Yeah.
like full time. Definitely follow him at like TMC Marathon.
okay,
Like, it's people from Grenada that really really getting it. Like
for sure.
like really. I'm talking about well over 6 figures doing that full time.
hmm
And you mentioned New Orleans. I got a friend that invests in New Orleans that lives there, and like the West. I don't know if it's the Ninth Ward.
hmm
But like they going into the wards now and buying properties up for cheap. Airbnb those jokers out.
Because it's getting gentrified.
Yeah.
They gentrify everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, I love what you said about properties. It's just
They done changed the name of every borough in New York. Like, it ain't no Yonkers no more. It's like Soho. Like, they changed the name to some artsy ass name and just gentrifying it.
And
Making money out the hood.
and with a lot of businesses, like a lot of people from the other side, they'll link up together to buy certain properties and stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, why you think black folk don't do that? You know what I'm saying?
we too busy trying to compete. I mean, I have
Everybody want to be the boss.
I have firsthand experiences that I won't name with people trying to compete when we all not nowhere where we could be
Right,
if
right.
we work together, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, I had no problem. I mentioned people like Farad and others because, like, I don't mind working with them,
Yeah.
like because, like, a lot of times people like don't recognize the knowledge that people have in their communities.
Yeah.
So shout out to Dub and OTF because Dub, the one who really sat down with me years ago and said, "Hey, you need to look at investing in this, and you need to look at maybe starting a business." And I mean, I did some research, but by him sitting down with me,
Sparked it.
it sparked it because like I didn't do it that year. I looked at stuff, but years later I said, you know what, he was right. And so like people don't know, I'm giving them their flowers. Farad helped me start my nonprofit, right?
Right.
And he was like, hey, you know, you can do this 1023 EZ form and like take 2 weeks to get your 501c3 versus like the regular long
Yeah.
way and take 3-6 months
Yeah.
doing all the
When I quit,
paperwork.
I just quit. I quit like I was feeling one out, and I was like, "No what?
Man.
It's over with."
But the 1023, like 2 pages, you can do it in about 15 minutes.
Right.
Man.
Man, shout out to you for telling me that.
But like, again,
My
though,
pen.
like I said, it's the
Get your head in the game.
it's
10
people
3 form.
it's people in sectors of the world that you'll be amazed how far you can go with. Cause like I said, I wouldn't have never been thinking I'd be sitting here with these guys. You know what I'm saying? Building a platform. You know what I'm saying? I if I went to sleep, it would have been P Funk and Mudcat, but they didn't think it. They didn't see the vision. You see what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? I always tell people to be open minded to, you know what I'm saying, getting that information. Cause some of the best information I ever got in my life came from a crackhead. Like somebody that done did it and failed and Like I didn't know nothing about, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Usually where
Houses
the
and
best advice come from.
yeah, shout out to Tyler Boy, man. He told
Charlie, what all of them?
shout out to Tyler Boy. Hey, listen, everything that he told me, I went and got fact checked and found out, bro, everything he was saying was the truth.
Man,
I didn't know nothing about you can get loans and refinance homes and get
Man,
money put in there.
he
And
told you some. He told
like
you the
on some
game.
real talk, like
real.
you know what I'm saying. Like he definitely how to make your property go up by building on. Like I ain't know your driveway like one of the most important parts of your house.
Gotta
So
make
you
sure it ain't
take a
cracking.
2-3 car driveway and turn it to a 9-10. You done added so much value to your house. You know what I'm saying?
But I think you said the second part that's like important to me in check conversations is that everybody's opinion is important, right?
Fact.
And like we like to help people and connect people with like other business owners that are in their field to say, okay, you might not just want to invest, you might want to start a business. But I'm like, it starts with listening to people, right? I guess rest in peace, Coach Holiday. I don't know if y'all remember Jack Holiday in school.
Yeah.
But he was my science fair coach, and he really criticized me one day. I had went to the international science fair. I was my junior year. I was going back my senior year, and we were prepping. And a guy, Brady Martin, I believe, asked a question, and I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was a dumb question, and I was like, I kind of like smirked him off, right? And coach, man, he stopped me right then. He was like, Jason, he said, don't you ever do that. He was like, everybody's question is important. And he said, if they ask them because they don't know. And he says, everybody's comment is important because you may learn something that you don't know. And I took that advice. It hit me. It hurt me for a second. Sometimes we got to, like, I have tough conversations now with people because I don't been through enough where I can tell you in love that I respectfully disagree with you.
Right.
You out of line, and you should be able to tell me the same thing.
Facts.
So
Without it being a problem.
yeah, without it being a problem, that's one thing we got to get over. We can't just sit down and bite our tongue. But I took that information before you go ahead, and I went to the International Science Fair, and a lot of judges were asking them same dumb questions.
Right.
But I was able to explain those questions, and then me and my partner, Claire Grace Watson, we won third in the world because he taught me a lesson I never forget. Number one, everybody's comments are important, and sometimes the things that you think are dumb are actually smart.
Yeah.
Humble yourself.
Fact.
Yeah.
Fact. Well, that again though, we get kind of cocky. We can get a little cocky sometimes. You feel me? Like sometimes, you know, they feel like they better than master a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you done probably had people that done come from under your wing, and you know they got a little cock on you, and
See, I'm proud about that. I like me and I don't want to name a name. Me and somebody else had a conversation about that. I said, and I told them, I said, it's a blessing if you doing something new that nobody done before, and somebody else say that inspires them to do something. That's a sign of respect if they grow bigger than you, right?
Yeah.
It's like almost like a way of like homage. I want people, like that's our mentality is messed up, right? So with check conversations, I tell people, I'm like, people that stay, great. People that go, I hope you learn something. They always end up coming back, asking questions and stuff. I'm like, but the majority of our group is intact. And my long-term vision is like not just to teach them about investing. I got families right now on the coast that be like, hey, if you got a big project, they looking at buying apartment complexes on the coast.
Okay.
So I know if I ever want to do a bigger venture by helping these people get money, then I can go back to them and say, hey, let's work on these projects together.
Right.
So I need you to get bigger than me because that's the way we all grow together. But we got this mindset. I got to get big. I got to have the biggest this, biggest that. I've seen different groups in the same field work together. Like you said, I watch YouTube videos. You said, what kind of music I listen to? I watch YouTube videos.
that's it.
But I've seen...
YFN Lucha on that though.
Yeah. He in there.
I'm going to hustle for mine.
But
Stop your
I'm
shit.
gonna say that one thing, and then I'm gonna start talking. I look at podcasts all the time, right?
Right.
So I look at Social Proof. I look at Recession Proof. I look at what is this guy's name? Earn Your Leisure.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
They on the black
Yeah,
affair.
yeah.
Shout out to Solomon. You ain't emailed me back yet, bro.
But if you look at those, I don't know if anybody watched the Recession Proof conference, but you have Recession Proof, Social Proof, and Earn Your Leisure, and these same hip hop artists you talked about all working together.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out
And
Dame Dash
do
too.
you know how much money they made? I was doing the math. They all made, each one of their groups made millions. The tickets were like, the cheapest ticket I think were like 900, right at $1,000. VIP tickets were like $5,000. Then they had paid sponsorships, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, they made millions of dollars. Yeah, I want to understand. I said, why did they do this? Because we had this mentality, we just do it ourselves and we make money. Yeah, you make limited amount of money.
They made all the money. Then they had sponsorship.
Then they had sponsorship. Then they can go back and they platforms even bigger because people like me, we ain't gonna sit there and watch one. You only doing like one episode a week. Like I can watch all 3.
You know what I like about investing? Like the idea of investing is that you ain't got to move to a big market to make things happen. Like you can stay where you at and actually invest and still
Triple
compete
up,
with the
double up.
people that's living in those cities. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the big pluses I take out of invest. I ain't got to get up and move to Atlanta just to invest money. You see what I'm saying? Like I can do that right there in the seat of my home.
It's a group of investors in Dallas. They all millennials. They have no jobs. They wake up, they go out, they trade in the morning, they still have long-term investments. In the afternoon, they sitting by the pool. Wow. And I'm like you said, you can do this anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Somebody told me, and I ain't gonna say who it was, that like there were people into crypto, and like you said, they can be anywhere. And back in the day, there was no traceability of it.
Yeah.
So they were getting their compound interest and living off of it, tax free.
Tax
You got 15-year-olds with like Ferraris and stuff off crypto.
Yeah.
Like,
I know
it's like
people,
teenagers balling.
like Wall Street, like geniuses, 18, 19 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like
It's a guy named Mr. Lawrence Eggleston. You can follow him on Instagram. He out of Jay Morrison camp out of Atlanta at the Black House. He started posting the stuff because I started challenging people. I said, well, man, you making the money, show the money there. Like you had to show your whole portfolio, but show it. Man, he made like I don't want to say $9K this week. Now he showed some of his losses. I think he only lost like 200. He made $9K this week. He's 21 years old.
right.
He started reading Investor at 16. He's an expert. I'm like, I give people their flowers.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, you're right. The younger your kids are, the better. But
And retain that information.
I was kind of skeptical with Jay Moore though. I ain't gonna lie.
look,
He fresh out of prison.
I don't buy into everything, so I'm gonna leave that alone.
Yeah. Like,
But Lawrence, like
but
Jay,
all the people that's around him though, they seem like they.
Everybody making money.
Yeah,
man.
that's what I'm saying.
Whatever you think about him, he making
I was
money.
just saying, I was skeptical on it, you know, because you know them folk get out of jail, bro. How you know how to make a debit card work? You fresh out of prison, bro. Man, just put that bag on top of it and scan it, bro. You fresh out of prison. How you know this, bro? You hear me? But, you know, he had that slick talk. So I was thinking for a second, though, now he might finna pull one of them, one of them
cons?
Yeah,
Like when he
one of them.
I know you about to say it.
Barry Madoff, yeah. He
Madoff.
thought he finna pull a Madoff on her. You know, and then
He still might be. We never know.
nah, he
So-
got to be legit.
Jason, how
He pulled
important
the
is
best people around him. Like I know people close to him, right?
Jay-Z endorsed him, so
That's all
I
we
don't,
need.
I don't. Okay,
you don't speak like that.
we talk offline.
yo,
I'm like, so I know the person that got Jay Morrison like into pretty much social media, right?
right.
So Jay Morrison was really doing really well, and I love what he's doing with the Black House. Let me say that, and I love
Shout
that
out.
they always recruit the best talent around him, like you said. But something happened to everybody in real estate. That was the market crash, right? So
Right,
they had to
right.
figure out something.
Right.
So this person who came from the same type of environment was like, look, Jay, you got the gift of the gab. You need to go into this venture. And he listened to it and it worked out for him, like educating people on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got to say.
That's another thing about black people. Like we afraid to spend our money to learn. Like
Okay, you always gonna think it's a scam.
We can have somebody tomorrow come to Lewis Johnson, give us the most valuable information on to the planet Earth, and we don't want to pay $25 to go in
Just
there.
like check conversation.
What Goose said though, I mean, we start from the church house, man. The first thing we be thinking, like, man, this dude ain't big more talking about what he talking about, man.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm
Man.
saying? So, like, scam, that be the first thing cross our mind. So, like,
Snake oil seal.
And it makes sense though. Scams are real. There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Y'all, hey, I've been scammed
We
before.
almost got scammed. Hey, shout out to Soundman. Hey, Soundman did not want to let go of them 1,200. He did not want to let go of them 1,200.
Tell you.
A
Man.
food truck, bro. Somebody,
Man.
what was it? eBay scam.
Man, look, they out there. I
Don't
seen.
tell
I
everybody
seen.
stupid weird.
No. You need to tell people,
Yeah,
man.
for
You
real.
need to tell people.
Because, hey, listen, we need to tell them about that.
You know that's that's $1 million. That's $1 million business. Like $1 million. There are books out there. People made millions. Things not to do in this business.
Right.
Like every person that I ever talked to that's been successful, like that I like try to learn from. They're like, okay, cool. The first thing they start off with, these are things that I did that messed up, that I
Don't
messed
do
up
this.
on.
Right.
So I mean, I tell people, I'll tell you a story right now. I took a hit. I was doing good, in like just getting into real estate and stuff. And somebody in our own communities said, I ain't gonna name no name, said, man, you need to get into flipping, right? I was like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, but I ain't really trust the person. Flipping private houses, man. Brother.
No, you got to know. Our audience a little different.
Oh, okay.
So you got
flipping properties.
Yes.
Flipping properties, right?
Talk to
right.
him.
Damn, you the only one that went there.
I'm thinking the same thing.
But hey, oh yeah, flipping properties, all right? Not people. Hey, kids do never flip people properties. Properties.
That's still the wrong flipping.
Yeah. You don't. Look, no Bill Cosby, no trafficking, none of that. All right. No R. Kelly. He got a new scandal, don't he? Let me stop.
God,
Let me stop.
We get around to it. We're going to get around to it. I think. I don't know.
But let me get back to this. So that people learn a lesson. Like one thing, his paperwork looked good. His family members like, yeah, he don't turn. People around his own community were like, yeah, you can trust this person, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know, but the paperwork looked good. And then, like you said, you can't be cheap about everything. I got an attorney that wasn't in the real estate field. And he read it. He was like, I don't know about this, but I
Looks
mean,
legit enough.
yeah, right. But had I got I now have a firm I work with, the third biggest firm in Memphis called Glankler Brown.
Okay.
And yeah, it costs money,
Yeah.
but that would have saved me, I ain't gonna lie, upwards of $40K. All right.
The scam sound like a Grenadian.
I ain't gonna say no name.
I ain't gonna say no name either.
But you know
wrong
what?
for that, boy.
Yeah,
You wrong.
it's okay. See, I'm not the type to sit down. So he got some federal charges against him, and then some of that money started coming back because
My bad, brother. My bad.
I'm humble, but I don't play like by my money. I really don't.
Yeah.
My chips with
And like people will try you because they
My
think
bad,
that.
brother.
But
we off on that.
yeah, but the lesson is I'm like, but the lesson from that, 'cause I ain't no point of me doing a crime against you and doing time when I'm like, you can do time and pay me back.
Right.
So I'm like, right. I'm like,
See, you
That's
some
tough.
off green.
right. I'm like, the people, we gotta use our heads, man. But the lesson from it is spend that money up front. Like, get you an attorney if you're doing big deals. Get somebody familiar with that field. Like, check your paperwork. Like, invest in somebody that understand that industry.
So, like, how important is ownership and holding on to property and stuff? How important is that to you?
It depends on your strategy. Like, some people, like, the strategy that this individual brought to me was right. Like, had he followed the plan that he brought, like, we would have made 6 figures every year up until this year because the market started drying out. It's like, it was just not enough out there. So the plan was right. I'm like, but so it's different. It depends on your strategy. Either you flipping, or you buying and selling, you a holder, you an investor. Like, do you just want a bunch of investment properties? And you want to, like, I know people in this city that have a lot of investment properties, make over 6 figures a year, retired. Or is your strategy to get stuff, fix it up, and flip it?
Shout out to Martha White. Shout out to Martha White,
Martha
boy.
White.
She
She
making
getting
a
it.
killing around this joint,
With
boy.
the flower, bro.
Well, she nope. I ain't never getting her no flower. You going too far now. That ain't what I said.
No, I'm talking about Martha White with the flowers. Like,
I mean, not. I said the wrong one anyway.
Martha Stewart.
Martha Wright.
Oh, right.
Martha
yeah,
Wright.
see that?
Martha White.
Yeah, he said Martha White. I'm thinking about flowers. Like,
Same thing with Tashina Honor that time. Like,
Hey, listen. Hey, was y'all here that day? I don't even think y'all here.
Who was that
You
one?
and Slim. Y'all wasn't even
no,
here that day.
yeah, no. I was on the road watching.
Y'all thought Tashina Honor too. I mean, Tashina Scott too.
Just say Honor.
Hey, but anyway,
we gonna keep saying
anyway,
people's
we
names.
got a lot of building to do. We gotta, as black people, we got to start first. We got to start communicating with each other again. We got to get right with our neighbors, get our communities back together, right? And then we need to start building. Like one thing about the Arab, when they come over here, bro, they take over.
Fact.
Quick fast. The Mexicans the same way. It'll be 34 of them in one house, but all of them got a pocket full of money. All of them go to work. They got a schedule. You lay in the bed at this time. I lay in the bed at this
go to
time.
Walmart. They
Man.
But with black folk, it seems like it's not a triumphant story if we don't do it by ourselves.
You gotta
We
learn
got to
to
break
sleep on
out
the
of
floor.
this shit.
So how did you all? I mean, I got some ideas and thoughts, but how did you all find each other to like start it? How did you all get together?
Well, me and Reggie, we was talking about doing a podcast probably like in 2015, 16.
maybe.
Okay, we was talking, and then along the way, we ended up talking to some more people. They ended up fanning out. We get some more folks. We started in 2018. And so in
It
20,
fanned out a little bit. We dissing each other.
Goo ended up coming back down here with like 19. What was that?
Nah,
19?
18.
18? Late 18? So he came aboard late 18.
Basically, everybody know each other. Like,
But the key component came in when sound man, and one night we was in there, I ended up calling this man by trying to make the sound go from our phone to Facebook Live, which I got the patent for that, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna cost you about 2400, you know what I'm talking about? I can make that happen for you, you know what I'm saying? You need that. You feel me? Talk to sound man, we chop it up. And he pretty much like what the direction we were going in. He was like, man, y'all consistent, y'all got some things y'all need to work on, but you know what I'm saying? We first we need to work on trying to make us,
get the bare bones.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make this a legit thing. And so, you know what I'm saying? Late 2020, you know what I'm saying? We got here and some unfortunate events happened for a person, you know what I'm saying? And we kind of inherited his land.
I wasn't gonna land, bro. I wasn't even gonna
We
land.
kind of
bro.
inherited his land, and we've been here since. So you know what I'm saying?
We Christopher Columbus.
Like
Yeah.
like
Y'all
again
just
though,
pilgrims.
it took me, cause like I said, like my thing was like I gotta do it by myself. Like I got to make everything happen for myself, and being around some guy that like, nah, bro, it'll work, man. You know what I'm saying, bro? You just do a little, you know what I'm saying? I put a little bit, you put a little bit, yeah, you put a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And it been beautiful ever since.
So let me ask you a question. I listened to everything you said, and I agree with everything. And evidently it worked. Y'all award winning to me.
Yeah,
I
man,
definitely
I
think
appreciate
you all
it.
got way more potential. Like you just at the surface.
Fact.
So did it start with mutual respect?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah,
Yeah.
okay. No doubt about it.
So
Like,
I think like what you said, one of the key things is you can't do it with everybody. Like you might sound like y'all had some people in. This
yeah,
is one of the
We
key
were
things.
Destiny Child for sure.
yeah.
I'm like, and
We the
that's,
temptation.
that's
Ain't no
my,
but a fear of us arisen.
man, that's my
they
learning.
left us, bro. They left us in the wind quick fast. It was really Reggie's fault, though.
No,
Oh,
no,
Lord,
no.
Reggie-
Don't,
hold on, let me
yeah,
get
don't
Reggie.
do that, man.
Reggie-
Reggie's an
Reggie-
asshole.
Oh my
What you
God.
do?
Reggie's an a-hole, bro.
Somebody
like,
gotta
on
be
some real
Otis.
talk.
Somebody gotta be Otis.
Hey, you was just doing a weeding process.
See, I can take it. Like, my mom was military 27 years, so, you know, she used to wake up, flop, 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 flop.
Somebody
Wake up,
gotta be Otis.
You know what I'm saying? Like, by the time you realize you getting slapped, bro, it's like the 7-1. So,
Yeah.
man, bro, we need to tighten up. We'll do, all right, we can do that. I can take that. But everybody ain't built like that. Yeah.
So, and that's a good thing, like, because if he didn't do that, would the show be as fun?
Nah.
Yeah, a bunch of people, you had to be thinking about what you said, so
It
you
been,
know
it been a lot of time, bro. They was thinking about jumping ridges, though, bro.
They gonna come with me.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
hands. I got hands like
They gonna
one.
jump-
You been saying that forever. I got to
Hey,
man.
listen, you got to. Like I tell a lot of time, like being the Kanye West of a podcast, you feel me? Like it's a sticky job. You feel me? And everybody ain't gonna be happy at the end of the meeting, bro. And a lot of the time, the anger gonna be towards you.
Yeah,
But he
Christopher
embrace it.
Columbus, y'all just
But he
feel
take
good.
it, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the second thing you said though, I want to jump back to what you said. 'Cause,
Mhm.
Like, I think this is the key thing for everybody starting a business or like working together. Like, number one, everybody doesn't have the same vision and everybody doesn't match your energy, right?
Right.
'Cause y'all got a group that I feel like all y'all flow together.
Right.
So that's the first thing. The second thing you said you started and stopped, meaning that like, hey, it didn't go as well as you wanted the first time, but you didn't quit. You said, okay, well, let's retool. Then you came back. So I mean, for me, I heard that y'all like persevered. So perseverance is another part of it, right?
Right.
You think about Destiny Child, like you said, they went through iterations, but
Mm-hmm.
then like even when they broke off, they still family, but all of them paid, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So what do y'all think about perseverance? Like having the right energy and the right people with you, then perseverance. What would you tell people about perseverance and forming groups to do stuff with?
I'm gonna tell you. First, you gotta analyze who you doing it with, and
Everybody can't go like you said.
because some people intentions ain't pure. Like I've been in situations sometimes where we'll have something going on and our visions might clash and they'll just fall back and then try to do some stuff on their own. You feel me?
Yeah.
But at the end of the meeting, like I don't get that from none of the guys I'm with. Like at the end of the day, like somebody gonna break the ice. So it get heated. Now don't get it twisted. It get heated at that time. But at the end of the day, it's the other three people, the person that's mad, the other three people tell them like, bro, you just tripping. Bro, the vision. We got to keep going back to the vision. And it worked perfectly fine all the time. So,
Man, that's
you know
what's
what I'm
up. So like, how do y'all sketch out your stuff? Like, do y'all just freestyle, or do y'all actually like write it out and stuff?
like,
somebody podcast.
Yeah, the podcast.
like most of the time,
a
like
rough draft.
yeah, we rough draft, we pregame. we get in early.
I ain't
Like today, we got in about 7. You know what I'm
I ain't
saying?
gonna
We'll
say
pregame.
I ain't gonna say we scripted, and it ain't a full freestyle either.
It ain't a full free. It's something in between. It's kind of like we freestyle with ghostwriters.
Wow, that's a new one.
That's like confusing.
That's a new one.
I think the key thing that I take away from it is I'm like, I know it's not all freestyle. Cause Reggie
Yeah.
reached out to me like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
like,
fact.
3 weeks ago. He already started like putting the feelers in.
Yeah.
And then when it was time, he was like, yeah. But then like it sounded like y'all all every time I'm on here, I see like roles that each one of you all play
Right.
based off of your personality.
Fact.
And like you said, it flowed naturally because y'all just fit together, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I look at business the same way, like, cause you all have a business, whether you
Facts.
call it that or not, it's a business,
Man, them receipts tell us this is a business.
right? Oh, y'all get paid? Wait a minute.
No, don't put that
Don't
out.
put that out there. All of us got child support cases.
Hey, listen, bro, we on a Bad Boy Records contract right now. It's terrible.
Oh, y'all,
Yeah, we done spent that van money.
Nah, this a death row
Gold chain.
contract.
We gotta go on the road.
but I look at everything you all said is everything that I learned and seen other successful businesses do.
Mhm.
And like when you read about them, like, okay, number one, like you are trying to find a team, right? So I believe in prayer. Like at this point in my life, really do. When you go through some stuff, like you really believe in it, and like you start praying like for direction, because like in places like Grenada, you don't always have a lot of people that are gonna want to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So you may have to venture out to like places like I go to like Memphis, other places, and then sometimes God may lead you to people right here in your own town that do it, right? Then you may run into people, like you said, that don't align with your vision.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be okay with letting them people go.
That's my problem.
And
I
letting-
think that's my biggest
That's a
problem.
gift. I'm learning. You got to let go.
Like,
Being in a small town is hard to create them enemies.
Cause
bro.
like the folks that's not blood relation to me, like that's in my circle, like they done been there so long, but you know what I'm saying, like even though I see like they don't really rock with it, they don't really like support it, like I still I still go over and beyond for them because on the simple screen like that, I feel like they family to me. You see what I'm saying? And like I get that all the time. Like my girl, I don't want to put it out there, but it's like she tell me all the time, like I'm loyal to the wrong people. Like she'll tell me like you can't be loyal to folks that don't even
Support
share
you.
your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't even click like on your Instagram. They don't say nothing about your business, nothing. Because they don't really think that it's gonna be anything. They really think you gonna fail at it. It's gonna be a ha-ha moment.
It's still your little podcast.
Yeah, this is my little podcast, right? And like it hurt when I hear her tell me that because, you know, I don't be wanting her to tell me that. But at the end of the day, I got to sit down and I got to really just assess that and just take it as just what it is. Like, she just looking out for me.
And sometimes you have to, like, I've encountered some of the same experience recently. Like, sometimes I would experience stuff like that, and then I'd be like you said, look, man, as people, you try to be nice with everybody, friends with everybody, and you still can love people and treat them well, but sometimes they may have to be over here because you doing something that's going to elevate you, and they don't want to go. Or they don't believe, and that's okay because God didn't give them that, right? But at the same time, you believe that somebody should be supporting you a certain way because you should support them. I sit down and have a conversation with people. I'm like, okay, guys, you all or ladies or whoever, you see me doing this, why don't you support this? Like, so let's get an understanding because maybe it's just you too busy or something, but we got to have a talk about it so I can look you in the eye and know are you really with me? If you're not really with me,
because if I tell you to support me and I got free hot dogs and hamburgers and free toys for the kids, they showing up.
My barber had to sit me down one time and tell me I got to stop expecting people to do what I would do. Like, when I'm in something, I'm all the way in it. Like, so my homeboy got a business, he got a website. I'm on his website. Even if I ain't getting it, I'm just getting his clicks up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm gonna go check what you got going. Like, just an example, you said call in, bro. I tried to call twice. Just to do it, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna use another voice. I'm like, hey, I ain't doing it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, my barber told me, like, everybody don't share the same vision, so you can't expect them to do what you do. So they ain't really obligated to even support you. But I know what you're saying, though. It do hurt. Yeah. They'll roll right by yours to go to something else.
They'll
go buy the Nike shorts instead of the Scrabble shorts.
If I'm a rapper, and I'm in the hood and I got my mixtape out and I'm in the hood and these folks playing 42 Doug and they playing, I'm gonna feel some type of way.
Especially when I go hard in.
And maybe on a side note, that's like something that Grenada needs to do. It's like you got a lot of talent. Like, you got talented comedians, you got talented musicians, you got talented podcasts. Maybe they should get together and say, look, this is what we're gonna do on these days to support them. But again, you all say everybody's not gonna support everyone. So the lesson I was taking away is like, hey, everybody can't go with you. You already understand they keep going away. Persevere. Don't give up on your vision if that's something God gave to you because eventually it's going to work. And all it takes is one door to open. You keep going up like you all have. And then, like, you do have a plan. Like, whether you call it that or not, I'm like, he calling me 3 weeks ahead of time. I'm like, he already got something planned out. So I'm like, those are the keys. And then, like, what I've learned is even people that don't really support you, and it may not be that they don't support you. I want to take that back. Some people are busy. It's not their vision or their dream, right? Like Moses, I mean, is like a world-class producer, right?
All right.
So I mean, like, I'm gonna support him in a way I can, but that's his vision and his dream.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna call him every day or every week because I'm working on mine, right?
Right.
But if something, like, let's say you grow, right, and you have an opportunity, like when they see you grow, then they be like, hey, whether right or wrong, they're gonna be like, hey, buddy, can I get a job or can I help?
It ain't your little podcast.
It ain't no little podcast no more. And I'm like, that's where y'all headed, but that's what everybody's business, right? They gonna little bro you forever until you get on it yourself.
Until you big
and
bro.
then they just gonna they still might mumble, but ain't nothing they can do. A lot of people gonna ask for help. And I believe that you should help them if they really want to work. Help.
A lot of people,
but you got to keep going up yourself, or else we all gonna be down here at the bottom.
Yeah, factual. And like I said, a lot of people feel like they gotta go to those type markets like the Atlanta. They gotta go to even Memphis or on the coast. They gotta go somewhere where the market is bigger to grow. And I feel like it ain't just a Grenada problem. Like, I feel like even like with Memphis, like even with Memphis, look at Pooh Shiesty. Like, he had to go you know what I'm
Expand.
saying, reach out to Atlanta.
We always outgrow
To-
your pun though.
You feel me?
You
So
really have to though,
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah.
You have to.
You gonna outgrow your pun.
yeah. I mean,
Fact.
one of your relatives
not-
said that really like, look, you gonna outgrow a certain area. I'm like, and like sometimes it depends on what field. Like you said, this is great. Y'all doing this podcast here in Mississippi. It's like a million ways you can grow. I wrote down a note, like, and I'm gonna share this with y'all. Like, since we having chat conversations out here on MasterMinds.
facts.
I was listening. He was like, this guy was like, there are like multiple ways you can make money with the same business, right? And thinking about where you are, uh, number one, you're in a market that's really untapped, Mississippi. You can do this. Yeah, I saw what you already did. You all brought on was the Winona mayor.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, man, I love that. Cause I ain't gonna tell nobody what to do, but I'm like, as you bring on bigger people, like your following grows, your base grows.
Right.
And so I'm like, you can in your business, you can keep doing this. Now, like in certain businesses that I do that I'll like share over the year, like I say, I'm like, it's not the market isn't great for here. So I'm like, Trey Baker said this one time, and I agree with him. He was like, look, sometimes you need to get away from home, learn some stuff,
Mhm.
and around in those markets that are catered to your business. And then once you have that knowledge, you can come back and support your home.
Fact.
All right. So it depends, like, on your market. But I want to get back to that one thing that I want to share about. Like, you can have one business, since we're having chat conversations, and you can make it several businesses doing the same thing, right? So he gave the
Right.
example of an orange. I don't know if everybody ever seen that example of an orange, right? Anybody?
Nah,
All right. So a guy so a guy like he had one orange and he picked it up and showed it. He was like, well, I'm just selling oranges, right? He was like, well, I can sell oranges, but if that season gets slow, or if I got extra oranges and I see the price of orange zest goes up, guess what I can do? I can take that same orange, make orange zest and have an orange business. Oh, guess what else I can do? I can have an orange juice business, right? So I look at y'all in the podcast business and I said, guess what? I'm just listening to you talk. You got multiple businesses sitting right here because podcasts are popping up everywhere.
Yeah.
People don't know what equipment to use. Like, you got a consulting business already. You can set up a website where you already got proprietary stuff that you figured out that works, that makes your stuff better. You can sell that stuff on the website. I'm like, you got multiple businesses built into one. Cause I'm taking one of my other businesses that I don't talk about, and I'm creating a one-page thing. I'm putting it
Right.
out there. I'm like, sheets, forms, all kinds of
The
stuff. I'm
whole
like,
nine.
here you go. I'm like, and you gonna buy each one of them.
Yeah.
Man, talk to him, man.
So
Man,
I'm
you
like-
know, ain't we talking that talk, man.
Man.
Check conversations.
How do you feel about the African Americans that get on social media and talk about their business before they actually go ahead and get their business up and running?
Then somebody get that business and then they mad.
I feel like I'm not mad at it, but I do believe it's value in holding some stuff. Like, yeah, I knew I wanted to get an Airbnb for a while, but like you said, I wasn't gonna talk about it until I had that profit and I figured out some stuff. Because if you're really talking about it before you do it, like, do you really know it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, and so it could be an encouragement to somebody. Maybe you sharing knowledge that you learn that maybe encourages somebody else to start learning it. But the best knowledge comes from experience.
Okay.
Like, you all talking about podcasts and like you talk about proprietary stuff that you do with your equipment that y'all don't figure it out
Fact.
versus somebody like you all haven't started before and say, okay, we looking at buying this equipment. We don't know how it works, but this what we looking at. It's totally
Right.
different.
Yeah. And it, like, even with what you're saying, like with those businesses, like everything is gonna just make everything else work. Like,
They bounce off each
yeah,
other.
they bounce off each other kind of, because I see a lot of people doing the podcast and I just be like, ooh, episode 15. That's what they sound like. They sound like episode 15.
Yeah.
It is not
Sound mono,
like a lot of folk, they need their guidance. A lot of people, like, even when we go to talk to people on, like, at seminars and stuff like that, like, they not even too much like familiar with the podcasting realm. Like, it's a totally fresh new arena for them. So they give us little tidbits on things they know outside of podcast that might work for us. But as far as giving us information directly to podcasting, They ain't too many people that gave us that
Man,
advice on.
I'm gonna tell you something. Y'all got $1 million business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, whether y'all know it or not. And so one thing that I learned that I hope to apply is, again, that's why I sit down. You say, what I listen to? Every day I come in, what I listen to, what kind of music I listen to? Somebody
YouTube.
say, YouTube, right? So I encourage people to watch Social Proof because that guy, he brings on millionaires I want to say every week or at least once a month, right? And they don't give you everything, but they give you 80% of the game that you never knew, right? So, like, I know your business is $1 million business because I listen to some people that I plan on doing with some other stuff that I want to do. And I'll just say it with merchandising and stuff. And I share the information with others. I learned about how to do stuff in China, like direct links, direct videos, how to verify people so you don't get scammed, like all that stuff offline. And then I learned from one person about marketing and advertising in a way that completely made sense. But it costs money.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, people are scared to invest. But when I did the math, I'm like, I'll go ahead and share what she did. What she did was she had a clothing line, right? And she was doing good numbers, right? But she found people that align with her clothing line, like celebrities, right? Or not even celebrities, celebrities' girlfriends, influencers. And she paid one. She said, okay, well, this person has like 350,000 likes, not followers. She had like 5 million. I think it was Moneybag Yo girlfriend. And she paid her, like, she give out contracts, right? Her contracts, Moneybag Yo girlfriend contract, $10,000 to advertise for you. But she paid her that $10,000. She had 350,000 likes, and I think she generated 100,000 sales, right? So she paid 100,000 sales, not the profit. I think that was her first $1 million month. So that's why I look at your business and I say $1 million month.
Crazy.
So that's why I look at business like this. I'm like, man, y'all sitting on a gold mine because y'all already have the content. You all have like people coming in in so many other ways. But I say for other people's businesses, it's information out there, but we gotta kind of unplug and say, look, what like you all doing, going to conferences, sitting online watching YouTube videos, reading books. I'm like, we gotta unplug, or else you just really dreaming. You ain't really working.
Fact.
So I'm like, praise. It starts with prayer first, but like, I love movies. I really can't even sit down and watch movies no more. Like, I watched G.I. Joe this weekend. I ain't gonna lie.
I like that.
I like G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe boy.
It was good. It was the best G.I. Joe. Now it ain't no Marvel. It ain't Marvel there.
Okay.
It ain't Marvel, but it was the best G.I. Joe.
Okay then. They did the best they could.
It was the best. It was a better story than the other one.
Okay then.
I ain't gonna lie, the one with Marlon Wayne was funny. That was funny now.
Yeah. Now we getting toward the end of this podcast. We got 14 minutes left in the show. All right, listen, before we get up out of here, we got a segment that we do every single week. Every single week. We're gonna pass out roses, bro. What I mean by passing out roses, we're gonna pass out our rose to somebody that's still living that deserve their flowers right now while they're here.
Okay.
That's the only rule. So, by him laughing, I know the star was Slim. Slim, who you got for me?
Man,
Slim Reaper, the Midnight Creeper.
you know what it is. Hey, you know what? Like I said it in private, I say it in person. You know what I'm saying? In public. I give my flowers to the sound man, you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
He
what's
been
up,
holding
man?
it down for
Shout
real.
out to sound
Shout out
man.
to the sound man.
This only
DJ
sober guy.
Mo, for real?
AKA sober guy. All right, we're going to pass that thing to Jason. Jason, pass your rose out to somebody that's still on earth that deserve their flowers.
We can only do one person.
Well, you know, you're a special guest, so you can get you a couple.
Yeah, you got a little budget.
Yeah, you got you a couple.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna honor my mom and my dad, man.
Fact.
I'm like I said, I believe every real parent does the best that they can do, and like they love their kids and they give them everything that they can, and everyone's different. But my mom and dad, like they sacrifice a lot. They actually like made me step up a lot in a lot of situations. They put me on a lot of pressure, so I understood what pressure was like.
Mm-hmm.
And
True investor.
yeah, I'm like they and every parent invests in you. I'm like
Yeah.
they invest in you. Like you gotta give parents they flowers.
Right.
They give you everything that they have, and then it's up to us to learn more and get everything that we have.
All right.
So definitely want to give homage to them, and that's it for me.
Okay then. Mom and Daddy, that almost come in a combo pack anyway.
I get
It
you.
kind of like Twinkies. Yeah, it's kind of like
Well,
Twinkies.
two in
I ain't
the
gonna lie.
round.
I ain't gonna lie. I had some other names, but I said, hold on, I better order my mom and dad.
Get your other stuff off if you got to.
Yeah,
man.
you got somebody else.
you a
guest.
You
know
a
what?
guest, bro.
You know what? I already shouted out 2 people doing the podcast that like really helped me, Dub and Farad. But I'm
Right.
like one other person that really has given me information and given me access to stuff that I really don't use enough. I want to say Frank Bradford
Okay then.
with the bank.
That's what's
Yeah.
up.
All right, like anytime he see me do something, he always supported financially. He always give me access to different conferences and stuff, and he really wants to see people that make an effort win. And so if you haven't ever reached out to him, talk to him. He's a person that really try to help. So definitely appreciate you, Frank.
What up? Hey, before Reggie get his out, you know what I'm saying? Anybody out there in the comment section, if y'all want to pass the roles out to somebody, you know, put it down in the comment section. Reggie, go ahead, buddy.
I want to give my flower to Lavea Johnson.
Okay.
She got an event going on July 31st. That she beat it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be at New Life Church. You know, she just she beat cancer,
Mm-hmm.
so she having an event, you know, honoring it.
That what's up.
So July 31st at 6:00 p.m. in New Life. Y'all get down there, support Lavea, man. She good people, great people. She never says no. Like if you need some help with something, she your go-to lady.
That's what's up.
All right,
What's up, man?
all right, Lavelle.
We moving on down. We got down here to Goo. Let's see what Goo got for this week.
Man, I'm gonna give my flowers, man, to my mama this week, man.
Okay, that what's up. That's what's up. He got one.
Hey!
I thought the stork brought your ass. Damn. That boy, shout out to your mama, man. Shout out to mama, man.
baby.
Man, shout out my mama, man, Evelyn Gentry, man. I love you, man. Hey, man, she had the best time here when my son was here, man. So, man, it's always good. She don't know. She used to come up there, but I ain't up there like I used to be, man. But, you know, she get to see my son, man, at least twice a year. So, glad she got to do that, man. So, mama, I love you, man. I know you ain't watching it, but, you know, I'll let you see it when I get home.
That's all right.
And me, I want to give mine to my auntie, Miss Susie Powell, man. We call her Ain't Smoking,
Shout out
man.
to Ain't
Listen.
Smoking.
Man, listen, my auntie, man, listen. One thing, every time I feel down and I'm going through it in the morning time and I'm emotional, for some reason she always text me and she tell me how great I am. You know
You
what
in the
I'm saying?
family group text?
And nah, she just sent it to me solo.
Shout out to my Aunt Nita too,
And-
man. She let you know in the
And she
comments.
let me know every single time that, you know what I'm saying, like I'm better than where I'm at, you know what I'm saying? And she don't even know how much I appreciate it, but tonight I'm gonna let her know, Ain't Smoke, I love you to death.
We love you, Ain't Smoking.
Those messages that you be sending, they really hit home with the boy. So you know what I'm
We
saying?
got a few in the
God
comments.
bless my auntie.
And you know this, man.
We got a few in the comments.
Let's get it.
Shout out to my Aunt Nita first of all.
Man, first off, yeah, for so number one supporter, she done been with us since episode 1. Do you hear me? So definitely shout out to Ain't Needle. You
You
feel
know,
me?
my daddy dropped in. He said Betty Jackson and Sarah H. Jackson.
Okay.
Good shout out to them. Or he's tagging them one.
Okay.
I don't know.
Jerry
He
Savage.
might be tagging them. I don't know.
He got a few on. He got some names on this joint. Shout out to Lil Johnson, Charlie Carpenter, Linnell Gayton, Oral Lucky, Jerry Savage, Carsonia Johnson, Reginald Johnson, Betty Jackson, Sarah H. Jackson. Shout out to Unc, man, for that right there, man. I just feel like, man, we got to always, because people, we leaving, bro. We leaving here fast, man. And the people that deserve those flowers, sometimes we just don't have the opportunity to. We doing so much in our day-to-day life. We ain't got time to pick up the phone and call. So that's why I made up this segment, man, where you can pass out your flowers to whoever it may be that you feel like deserving. You know what I'm saying? So
Shout their name.
Yeah, man. Listen, man. Shout they name, bro. That hashtag shout they name, bro. Yeah, y'all done got quiet. Y'all all right? Listen, y'all.
We thought you about to preach or something. Ain't that
Listen,
game?
well, you
got
know,
the word
if I
ain't got
go,
up.
if I go to preaching around here, bro, a lot of people gonna go to sweating, bro. You know, they already feel like, you know what I'm saying, I come from the bottom. You
Yeah,
feel me?
yeah.
So,
I think you and
Yeah.
another preacher gonna have like a preaching battle.
yeah,
Like a verse. I know who you gonna go against.
I definitely want to get into the segment of, you know what I'm saying, intimate debates.
Okay.
Basically, you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
well,
that's
we
coming.
cause you know, we get the women's sector to talk to the men, and we'll get believers to talk to the non-believers. We'll get former sports players versus the you know, I guess the
Analyst.
the analysts, yeah. So we'll definitely we'll have some debates coming up, man. We coming up with some things soon, man. Any last remarks y'all want to make?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
No matter where you go, there you are.
Well, elaborate.
No matter where you go, you are who you are. You got to
Ooh-wee.
deal with you no matter what you do.
To whom much is given, much is tested.
Mm.
I would say one thing to all parents out there. I think you may have heard, for those who like do follow investing, like from Wall Street Trapper, that you can get your kids a Roth IRA, a youth Roth IRA at like 16. You can get
Yes,
it.
sir.
You can get it when they born.
Yes,
I'm like,
sir.
so I figured that out. Like traveling different places. Just got back from Baltimore. You can get it when you born. All right, and $6,000 like one time when they born, when they little kids,
Income tax check.
an income tax check and a Roth IRA, like anybody managing it, right? Like I ain't gonna say anybody. I like Fidelity.
Okay.
But I'm like one of my friends in Baltimore. She has her daughter with Charles Schwab, right? So compound interest calculator, like I said, look at it on aggressive fund, 12 to 15% on a medium fund. Ends up being that kid is a millionaire by the time they're 37 with nothing else added to it.
Yeah, they don't.
Wow.
Their child Roth IRA, it only goes to when they go to college, though, right? Like, it's
So-
like a college fund. ain't it?
So with a child Roth IRA, you can transfer it over to them. You might want to look at like getting a trust, but let's say you want to, if you transfer it over to them, you can still fund it. Like or they can fund it. It's ways.
It'll go past.
It's ways.
Yeah.
Like technically, like to your question, they are supposed to fund it, but you might want to talk to your advisor about how to do it. It's interesting. But like that one time payment, you made your kid a millionaire at birth. Like by the time they 30 something, they're a millionaire.
6 bands.
Wow.
Easy.
Crazy.
I got some catching up to do. I got to put my 30 in there.
Yeah, I definitely got to.
Them ain't old one.
But I'm starting to learn about IULs and IRAs, stuff like that. So.
Yeah, even if they 16, if you get them one at 16, like when they get ready to graduate from college, instead of a brand new car, I'm like, by the time they 59, which is the age you can pull it away tax free, you done made them a millionaire then.
Hey, I saw you under what's the name, man? Country Wayne Jack telling him about when he bought his son that car.
Yeah.
And you was telling him to buy him some stocks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I love Country Wayne now. Country Wayne funny to me, like now.
Yeah.
Like after I scroll down y'all stuff, I be like, oh, they go Country Wayne. Like, they got the algorithms, so they pick up what you do. I'm like,
Mine
great.
on Dragon Ball Z right now.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell you,
I
bro.
like Country Wayne. It's fun.
I was listening to another podcast, and they big, and they was talking about how the algorithm pretty much screwing them. Like,
Yeah,
like all the creators.
because
they kick you
the
off.
trick to it is the big companies is linked up with YouTube.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying? We don't nobody know how they monetize these videos, bro. Like you just know one day
They
you
selling
just
your
wake
data,
up,
bro. They
you get
selling-
a check.
They selling your data to everybody.
You feel me? And ain't nobody regulating them.
Oh, wow.
Ain't nobody regulating YouTube. You see what I'm saying? So like, so when the next big YouTube like platform comes, you gonna see a lot of you gonna see a lot of fine print that you didn't see at first.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? There's gonna be a lot of what you can and what you can't do, and for putting it on that platform because like right now ain't nobody competing against YouTube. Like, but the crazy part is though, what I'm learning is you can actually make more money on Twitter than you can on YouTube.
Basically,
you're right, man. I'm like,
basically, what you gotta do is get you a website and move everything onto your website.
Fact. You know, that's why I like the white.
Control your
I don't want to get too tainted here, but that's why I like the white porn star. Like Jenna Jameson, them, they always use whatever that big platform was for you to come to their platform. So if you watching one of their videos on Pornhub, it might be 3 minutes, and they tell you you want to see more content, come to Jenna Jameson bends over backwards.com.
How they spell come?
I ain't supposed to tell them about I do that well.
But what you saying what you saying is right. It's called, like, you don't even have to worry about getting monetized by them. It's called your click to conversion rate, right?
Yeah, right.
So that's what I started doing. Like, I hired like 3 people now. And I pay them more than I'm making, like off of check conversations to draw traffic. I'm like, okay. I'm like, they understand like the algorithms, but what you're really trying to do, like Him 500, social podcasts, they all trying to get them to go to one platform,
right?
Because you can track that, and all you want them to do is click to convert, right? Mm-hmm. So when they convert, that's cash every time. And like you said,
we just made Mark Zuckerberg plenty of money. Like people, whoever clicked on for 2 seconds and got off. If you clicked on and watched the whole thing, got off.
Yeah,
we just made them money.
Just made them good money.
So we gotta start getting email lists. Email is where the money.
They is not treating us good,
man. You need to look at it's a company. I'm gonna plug them right now called eBond Way. I think we overtime. We out. eBond Way. Hire that company. Hire the company called eBond Way.
Okay.
So if you got a website, like this guy named Jamonte, he a young black man, and I just gave him a shot. I could have did the stuff myself. I ain't had the time, and I hired him. He said, "Look, I got an IT company. Let me try it." Like, he said, "I can do this for you." I'm like, "You sure?" I said, "I don't think have you ever done it?" "No, but I can do it for you." Mm-hmm. He basically he set up platform like you said with email lists. Like, he do some crazy stuff with traffic. There are click funnels and stuff out there, but he take it to another level.
Yeah, we definitely gonna take some notes from you for you.
I'm gonna send you information.
But yeah, man, we at that 1:30 mark, man. Y'all make sure y'all click on them links in the morning. We on Google Play, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcast. We also on YouTube. Make sure you go hit that subscribe button, that like button, and make sure you hit that notification bell for all new content, Mastermind Podcast.
And y'all gonna get some extra episodes on there, some stuff you didn't see on Zuckerberg TV.
So, man, listen, man, for Sound Man, Slim, Jason Anderson, Reggie, Goo, I am Space Gold, a.k.a. Kill
I'm Ricky
Move.
Fontaine.
You know what I'm talking about? Y'all,
I'm the Intercontinental Champion.
We love you. You know what I'm saying?
Hardcore champion.
Yo, what's the script? Today's most hottest shit brought to you in part by TNZ Wings.
That's what I told
Contact them 307-2739 or 1756 South Commerce Street, Grenada, Mississippi.
Man.
You think you got what it take to rock the mic? Well, come on down, because it's going down every Friday night. Pure Royalty Entertainment, 1742 Commerce Street, Grenada, Mississippi, 38901. It's going down.
I don't like
TZ Cuts, owned and operated by Octavia Wilkes. She specializes in dreads, braids, bobs, sew-ins, fades, and much, much more. Call Octavia Wilkes, CEO, for all appointments at 662-300-3271. That's 662-300-3271.
Teasy. It sounded like it was a transition.
You do it better than me.
Nah, it sounded like he was doing a teasy cut too, because after he got done, the way it came in,
it's going down. Teasy cut. hey, y'all say y'all still on YouTube? Yeah, we posted clips.
Now we on full time. Now it ain't going down. Hey, Yellow. Whenever we get everything situated, man, I want to talk a little bit and we
hopping all out inbox.
Yes, sir. Matter of fact, we gonna make a group chat with your name in there. Yes, sir. But we up out of here, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all click them links in the morning, man. Y'all make sure y'all check Conversation, you know what I'm saying? What platform they can find that at?
Man, the best platform, checkconversations.com. Like I said, man, like it's a lot of free videos, YouTubes, that like videos we've already uploaded there. A lot of free content, testimonials. Go to checkconversation.com. You can ask me questions on my Instagram, my hard work approved, but we got a Check Conversations on Instagram that we started. And if you're on Facebook, check out checkconversations.com, Check Conversations LLC on Facebook. We are going to do something called First Fridays, where we'll be giving out like probably about $200 to $100 gifts. And what we're gonna be doing is just asking people to follow our platforms and share. We're gonna do that first Fridays that's coming up. And then, like I said, I hired somebody in marketing. She's gonna be doing that live, so you'll get to see somebody you know win every Friday. So every first Friday. Let me say, I ain't balling like that.
Yeah.
It's
what it
going
is.
down.
Every single time, man. Y'all make sure y'all click them links, man. We up out this thing, man.
We love you.